we're talking about multiplying decimals, and we're going to jump to something brand new again today. We're just going to do a quick review, and that is adding and subtracting unlike fractions. So again, going back to least common multiple. You are going to have questions on your star that look much like this, and the question will be, what does the model represent, and what's the answer, right? So it's not going to give you the fraction, it's just going to show you 2 fraction bars, maybe even 3. So you have to figure out what those fractions are. So looking at the top fraction, once you know what that fraction is, I want you to raise your hand. Take a second and count just the top fraction, or just the top fraction bar. Okay, everyone should be counting. There's no reason not to have your hand up, because it's literally just a matter of counting. It's just counting.
I can't.
Michael, what is that?
8 over 12.
Good job, Michael. So we had 8 squares colored, and there were a total of 12. So now they're asking you to look at the second fraction bar to get your second fraction. When you know what that fraction is, raise your hand. I don't know why I see people that don't have a hand up, because it's just a matter of counting. All you got to do. Aaliyah, what would it be?
1/4.
Good. So I know it's going to tell me to add those 2 together. So that's all. Don't freak out if you see a fraction bar, if it's asking you to add fractions and it doesn't have the fraction, because it's easy to figure out what it is, right? Sebastian, thank you for having those put away, because right now your focus is 100% on me. It's not what we're doing. All right, so can I add these 2 fractions the way that they are?
No.
No, I need to find my least common multiple. We talked about how there's 2 different ways to do this. One way we talked about was using the letter, using our M method, right? And putting our 2 numbers down, and then doing all of the factors of those numbers. So all together, count by 4s for me until I say stop. Go.
4, 8, 12, 16.
Stop. Do I even need to do the factors of 12?
No.
No, who can tell me why not? Why do I not need to do 12, 24, 36? Why not, Tristan?
Because 12 is 12 by itself and 4 times 3.
Awesome. I found my least common multiple. The other way I could do it, if I didn't want to make an M, is simply to write, here's my 4, make a T-chart, right? That was the second way. And you would just do the same thing by writing down the multiples. So now we know what our least common multiple is, and so we're going to create a new fraction. Does anybody remember when you are adding or subtracting fractions, which way we always write them down, either horizontally or vertically? Show me with your arm. Show me with your arm. Do we do it horizontal or do we do it vertical? Right, we always write vertically. Okay, so if you see a fraction, adding or subtracting that's written horizontally, just know that your first step is to change that. So we know that our least common multiple is 12, and now we're ready to figure out our new fractions. These are our equivalent fractions. So I want you to think for just a second about what you could multiply by 4 to get the answer 12. When you know you have it, show me on your fingers. What would you multiply by 4 to get 12? Almost there, we almost have it. Daniel, I'm waiting for you. Okay, Angel, what is it?
3.
Right, it's times 3. So if I times 3 down here for my denominator, I also have to times 3 for my numerator. So 4 times 3 is 12, that's right. And then Tristan, 1 times 3 is 3. Now I want you to think about, this is a really hard one, it's like 6th grade here. How many times 12 can be divided into 12? Or 12 times what is 12? Show me on your finger. A lot of pointing. Yes, 12 times 1. So remember, if I multiply 1 on my denominator, I multiply it on my numerator. And Gavin, what's 8 times 1? 8. Good job, Gavin. So now I have my new fractions, and I'm all ready to add. So I add my numerators, which is 8 plus 3 is what, Michael?
8, 9, 10, 11.
11, my denominator stays the same. Now I have the tricky part. Can it be simplified? Can it be simplified? Looking at this, put your thumb up if you think yes, it can be simplified. Thumbs down if you say no. This is as low as it goes. It doesn't go any lower. Joseph, why not? How did you know it's not going to go any lower? This is it. Okay, what else? What's another way I would know that I do not need to reduce or simplify that fraction? Harley? That was perfection because 11 is a prime number. So there's nothing I'm going to be able to find to divide into 11, and that's how it stays. So here's what we're going to do. You are all going to get a Post-it, and on the Post-it is a problem. Some are addition of fractions, some are subtraction of fractions. You're going to work it out. You can work it out not on the Post-it because I will reuse those, but on any like little scratch paper that you have in your star folder. Don't get it out yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to time how long it takes until everybody has their answer matched, right? And then I'm going to time all 3 classes and see which block is able to do it the fastest. If you figure yours out, you come up and you stick it up over the answer and you sit back down and maybe the person next to you is struggling a little bit, absolutely you can help them. Okay? So we want to see if we can do it. What do you think? Who thinks we can do it under 3 minutes?
Ooh, that would be
3 minutes. All right, who thinks we can do it under 2 minutes?
possible.
Yeah? Under a minute?
No.
That's pretty fast. But let's see. Let's try.
know, 'cause I'm positive and
Oh, okay. So I'm going to pass out your Post-it. Don't do anything with it yet. Please do not write on the Post-it because I reuse these. Yeah, that's perfect. Hey, nope, don't start yet. Don't start yet. You're cheaters. All right, here we go. I'm going to set my handy dandy timer. Oh, I don't have my phone. Actually, I'll just watch on the clock. I got it. All right, ready?
Are we? It's
And
it's going up or down?
go. No, wait. Go. Solve it, and as soon as you've solved it, come up, find your answer, and stick it right over the top. Alright, look at the lead counters. Remember, if you finish yours and you need to help somebody at your table, then do. By all means, help someone at your table, that's fine. Okay. Priscilla. Help Sebastian. Remember, if you're done, help your table. Good job, table 2. I like how you're helping each other. Minus? I'm just saying. Hey, you can help people at your table. That's why you're in a working as a group. So first thing you should do is rewrite it vertically. What? Yeah, but that can be reduced. That can be simplified. You can divide something into those. What can you divide into both 5 and 10? Then can't go into 5. Switch that. Flip it. Divide them both by 5. All right. Is this, you guys found yours? And it's up. Gavin's looking. Where are we at here? Someone helping? Abby? You gotta make sure that your answer is up there. They're all up there.
Just 3 minutes. It's almost 3 minutes.
Good, Michael. Good, Ben. No, you can't. What? I did just stick it up there. Go, go, go. Put it up there. Put it up, put it up. Put it up. Put it up. Okay, go sit down. Go sit down.
Just in 3 minutes.
Go sit down.
Wait, are we all working as a full?
Yeah, if somebody at your table is not done, help them.
It's been 3
Oh,
minutes.
good.
It has not been 3 months.
All right, so is there anybody? Go sit down. Go sit down.
We have 14.5. It's a bit. That's up there. I saw it. More than everybody does. He's not done.
Hurry, hurry, Joseph. Hurry, 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 hurry.
It's been more than 3 minutes. Are you subtracting? No, it's adding.
Can you not find it?
It's right there.
Go, stick it up there. Go,
Which
go,
one?
go.
35 or 36.
Go, 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 go. Stop. You're over 7. No, stick it up there. Hurry.
Priscilla, was this yours? Oh my god.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Joseph, hurry. Just go put it up. Dorian, put it up.
But I don't know. It's like
Is no one helping Dorian?
it's been 4 minutes.
We're on the floor.
Okay, we're dead. We're not dead.
So it's 88. Yes, that's it. Yes. That's it.
We're dead.
Right there.
We're not dead.
And put it down. And we're gonna call time. Where's Miss Strange?
It was.
What was it?
4 minutes and 21 seconds.
I'm gonna write that down.
I got 4:35.
Block 1 was 4 minutes.
Can we try again? 4:35. This makes Can we try again?
21 seconds. Good
I
job.
got 4:35.
All right. So
Babe,
what
don't
you're
say
gonna do? Almost ready. We're almost there.
4 minutes and 21 seconds.
In your group, we did this the other day. You are going to be given a stack of cards that have both adding and subtracting fractions. Some of the cards will have a problem that looks like this, where it'll have a fraction bar. I'm gonna wait, because I have a few people that don't have 100%, and I don't want to explain it twice. Thank you, good job. Who's making noise? Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a piece of paper. Don't worry about the numbers on your cards. Don't worry about that. You don't have to number. You can choose to either use graph paper, or if you'd rather use plain white paper, you'll have that choice too. I think there are 12 cards. We're only going to be able to work on this for about 12, 13 minutes. So we have time to do our exit ticket, and then it'll be lunch. Okay, questions about what to do? Who can raise their hand and tell me, what do you do with these cards? What are you gonna do with them? Priscilla, what are you gonna do with the cards? You're gonna solve, right? And what happens, Tristan, when you finish one card? What should you do? You just get another one. Exactly. There's 12, so there's plenty. You grab another one. When you finish with that card, you put it back into the middle so another person can use it. If you need help, Abby, what could you do? Right, you could ask Mrs. Height, Miss Strange, and we would be happy to help you. Okay? All right, so I'm going to pass out your cards, and then let me get your paper passed out.
Miss Height, attach it.
There's yours.
My lovely, your lovely.
If you want a piece of graph paper to solve, then Michael will give that to you. Thank you, Michael.
The other side is blank too. So if you like blank,
If you want just plain paper to solve, Aaliyah will pass that out to you. And I'm looking for a table where everybody has started. Everybody has started. Well, you're only passing out graph paper if they want that to solve on. Okay, you're gonna use that?
Well, I'm gonna use all different
Okay, well, these are just good. All right, go ahead and get started. If you need paper, raise your hand.
Sebastian, do you want
Mommy, I don't know. Okay, I'll take this. Wait, we got everything.
Hey, I know you're ready because you are working. Oh, table 1, I love it. Look at how table 1, every person is working on a problem right now. You need to make it, oh no, that's a mixed fraction. You need to make it an improper fraction. No, do not write on the cards. Do not write on the cards because I reuse them. This one? How do you make that? Write it down. How do I make that an improper fraction? So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Is it? 2 times 1 is 2 times 1 is 3. That's your denominator. That's your numerator.
This describes me.
Yes, and then your denominator stays the same. So now you have 5, 6, and 3 over 2. Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, so Saturday, how much time?
2 hours.